Talking of Manchester City, season ticket holders are campaigning there for a change in the rules to be scrapped. The club says next season you have to go to at least 10 home games in person or you risk losing your season tickets. A lot of people are pretty unhappy about that. Helen Powell is one of them from West Yorkshire. Hi, Helen.
Hiya.
Thank you for joining us. So what was the issue for you? What got in the way of you getting to 10 home games?
So my personal reason is I had my first baby last year. She was born in October. I knew she was on her way end of the previous season. I reached out to the club and said, "This is the situation. I've been a season ticket holder for a long time. Can I defer?" Which the club can do. They did it after COVID. Was told that's not an option. You have to transfer out your ticket every game. Not ideal, but I did that. Fine. Then this new rule, obviously, with that, I'd have lost my season ticket. But this isn't just about that. It's not just about pregnancy. I do think it's discriminatory because it potentially targets women, mothers, parents, carers more than anyone else. But this is about a rule that seems so poorly thought through, wasn't given up for debate to the supporter groups, either. It was just presented to them and went ahead. It's not a case of saying, I want my season ticket and I will be there every other Saturday during the league. That's not the case anymore. It's saying from Friday to Monday, we can change fixtures. Obviously, today it's going to happen even more. We can change fixtures. You have to surrender your whole weekends. That just doesn't work. And as well, obviously, you've got people with shift rota patterns, people on different shift patterns, people with illnesses that can flare up and it just seems very out of touch.
Do you feel, you say that the fans weren't even given a voice in this. Do you feel that grassroots fans are kind of being a bit forgotten by the big clubs?
Oh, completely. The big clubs are not even making a secret of it anymore. We're deemed as legacy fans. And the way I see it is we don't spend as much at the ground on a match day. Now, football is a global business. It is a business. There's various problems that I could go into, but we're not talking about that right now. But we're still the ones that loyalty should stand for something. We've been there before. We'll be there if it all falls apart again. And we're actively felt not valued at all by the club. And we've really had to fight a lot this season. There's been some excellent protests in this case coming forward now to really try and make our voices heard. The club has got a fan panel at City Matters, but so they weren't even given an opportunity to consult on this. It was just presented to them after pressure from the group.
I'm reading a quote here from Chris Neville from the trade union Blues, who says, "We've instructed lawyers to send a legal letter to the club outlining why we believe this is a breach of the Equality Act 2010, and we're not aware of any other clubs who impose these restrictions. Other clubs may have a minimum usage policy, but not a minimum attendance policy, which means that you have to attend the game yourself." I guess the club would say, we just want to make sure we have full stands and we want to make sure that there's such high demand that, if you buy a season ticket, you turn up. What would you say to that?
Well, that's where I think the usage policy worked. It was 16 games, was 14 previously. And it just meant that you were able to, if you weren't able to personally attend, you could transfer it to a friend or family member, or you could list on the exchange. And to me, that's going to make sure the seats are filled. We don't really want to get into a discussion about Manchester City and attendance right now, but it just feels like we are not the problem here. The club continues to have contracts with multiple ticket resale sites that sell at extortionate prices. And now they've introduced this new rule that won't combat any of that. It'll combat fans that go long term, but cannot give up every other weekend, the full weekend.
Helen, what does football mean to you going regularly to Manchester City?
It means everything to me. I've been a City fan since I was a kid, so back in the bad old days that now sometimes feel like the good old days. But it's community. It always used to be community. Used to feel like the club really were. And now I have that community, but it's my friends that we go and we support together. And numbers are dropping, I'm not going to lie, because of these rules, because of the price increases, because of everything that's happening. People are feeling more and more disenfranchised. And for me, it's been the one constant in my life. And even after having my baby, to go back and be a part of it and feel like myself again was everything.
And
They're there.
we've heard today's news that that more matches may be moved due to European competition. So it's a double whammy, isn't it? On top of what you're
Exactly.
saying, yeah.
We're going to lose more. Like we're going to be messed around even more, and we have to make it work. It just you can't juggle it. Like modern life is tricky enough with the juggle, and I'm
Mm.
working. I've got a baby, and now the club can go. Come on a Friday. Come on a Monday. Come on Saturday at 12. Come Saturday at 8. It's like I can't do this, and
Yeah.
I try. People might people might look at that and be like, well, don't get a season ticket then. Manchester City don't offer new season tickets. If I gave mine up, I wouldn't get it back. I wouldn't get that connection to my friends like that again. It's not a case of I'll sit out this season. If you do, you can't. That's not available.
No, I hear you loud and clear. So your message, because I can guarantee you, somebody at Manchester City will be listening to this. What do you want to say to them?
To say please reconsider. They have since come out and said you can ask for an exemption if you need, or just the official line was see how it goes. And seems absolutely mad that that's the official line, but also B, it's too late. They've already put that out. The initial notice they put out about season tickets for this 10-game rule on, sorry. There was nothing about exemptions or talking to them. It was, that is the rule. If you don't do this, you will lose your ticket. So, and now the renewal window's over. So how many long-term fans didn't renew their ticket because they knew they couldn't, hand on heart, commit to 10 games? I've done it. I'm not sure how I'm going to make it work, especially with this the amount of European games and the changing.
Yeah,
The Bournemouth game got changed so many times. I actually, for one, it got rearranged. So then I got childcare so I could go, and it got rearranged again.
You need to get in that boardroom, Helen.
If you're listening, Calhoun or anyone, I'm here for a chat.
Brilliantly put, Helen. And tell us, what did you have, a boy or a girl?
I had a girl.
What's she called?
It's called Edie. She's
Edie.
lovely.
Well, I know that you'd want to take Edie to Manchester City when she gets a bit older, so to keep that family legacy going. Thank you so much for joining us. Hugely articulate, brilliantly put. If you are a Manchester City fan and you'd like to join in the debate that Helen kicked off so brilliantly, 85058. Manchester City told the BBC they will work with fans and supporters and can apply for exemptions or adjustments through the club's access team. What do you think? 85058. 6 o'clock on 5 Live Drive.